All right, we're going to open up the public hearing agenda for the proposed superintendent contract. We don't have any yellow sheets over there, right? Oh. We don't have anybody signed up to speak. So before we take the vote, just let you know per Indiana code, superintendent's contract's been posted up on the school's website. Also has to be posted for 10 days in a public publication, newspaper. So it's been in the Star for, I think, since February 1st or 2nd. So with that being said, we need to have a motion.
Superintendent.
All you gotta do is just adjourn the meeting.
Oh, gotcha.
You're not approving it.
That's correct. It's
So
a
you just
hearing.
make a motion.
Just make a
I'll
motion
make
to
a
close.
motion to close.
All right.
I second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, that concludes the hearing on my contract since there was no public comment. Now the regular meeting.
Okay. Now we're going to do a call to order of the regular board meeting. We're going to start off with Dr. Reichart and the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would all stand, please.
The flag is behind you if you don't mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Students of the month now. We're doing.
This mic only works for the people listening online. We don't have any speakers in here. So if you wonder why do we have this, it's so that those people listening in can hear what we're saying.
Thank you, Dr. Reichart. So Miss Cool nominated 2 students of the month. Her first, she's homesick right now with her boy, so that's why I'm going to read this for her. Her first student of the month is Addie Martin. Addie, are you here? Can you come up, honey? She had some nice things to say about you. Do you mind if I read them in front of everyone? Okay. So Miss Cool said, "This year for Outstanding Artist, I chose Addie Martin. Addie's new to Hamilton this year, and I noticed right away she has wonderful talent in art. She's a quiet student who is always on task. She's extremely creative and hardworking. When Addie finishes her work, she always starts another project right away. I cannot wait to see where her creative mind takes her. Keep being yourself, Addie. You are so talented, and we are so proud of you." Our next student of the month is for music, and this goes to Callie Holden. Are you here, Cal? Callie's our little musician. She absolutely loves music class with Miss Cool. So I'm going to read you all the cool things she said about you. You think that's cool? Okay. For my student of the month for music, I chose Callie Holden. Callie is always extremely helpful, not only in music, but art as well. Callie is always the first to ask for help, set up, get everything organized, and help with cleanup. She's always engaged in her lessons. Callie helps come up with student movements for our Christmas program this year, and she's always wanting additional projects and assignments to work on at home or during her recess time. I don't believe that one. Last week, we started theater lessons, and while I was at recess, I found Callie and a group of girls working on a play that they created. Is that true? My gosh. That they created that they learned in music class. And Callie typed all the scripts up for the girls. I'm so proud of her, and I hope she continues to have the same passion in music for years to come. All right. Our next student of the month is from Mr. Meddert. And this is for Athena Kuhn. Athena, could you come up?
I'm Athena's both choir and band teacher, and just a couple nice things about Athena. Not only is she an exceptional singer, but she's started a new instrument this year, and she's done an exceptional job learning percussion as well. She goes out of her way all the time to make sure that she's doing all the right things, to make sure that she's ready for the next thing. She comes down during Marine Advisory a lot to get extra individual help on singing, and she's just come a long, long way since where we started, and we're really, really proud of the progress she's made. So congratulations, Athena Kuhn.
Thank you. Good job, Athena. Mrs. Brandt. Miss Brandt, do you mind coming up? Miss Brandt, student of the month is, I call her Zozo, Zoe Harmeyer. Zoe, can you come up on?
Zoe joined my class in the middle of the school year. I think it was like November, which we all know can be a little scary. Walking into a new school, new classroom, and a new group of classmates takes a lot of courage. But from the very first week, she fit right in. She has natural kindness and confidence that allows her to make new friends with anyone. She has fit right into our classroom family. But what stands out the most to me is her bravery and honesty. She shared with me that she had learned some math concepts differently at her previous school and was feeling a little mixed up. That can be hard to admit. Instead of pretending to understand or giving up, she chose to speak up. Because of that honesty, we were able to spend lots of one-on-one time together, filling in those gaps, strengthening her understanding, and her growth in math in these short few months together has blown me away. I'm so proud of the way that she's embraced this new chapter socially and academically. She is a wonderful example of what it means to be brave, respectful, and open to learning. We are so lucky to have her here at Hamilton. Congratulations, Zoe.
Thank you, Miss Brandt. Good job, Zozo. Okay. Mrs. Dietz, are you here? Okay, Mrs. Dietz, her student of the month is Jacob Marvin.
It is my honor and privilege to award Student of the Month to Jacob Marvin. When I first met Jake, I thought he was going to be a rascal. He jokingly told me his name was Bob when I called attendance on the first day of school. As the students around him began to laugh, I found myself thinking, oh boy, this is going to be a rough year. However, as time went on, I noticed that Jake was continuously going above and beyond to complete his assignments and to encourage others to do so as well. Fast forward to this semester, and Jake continues to excel in academics, but more importantly, Jake is a very kind, trustworthy, and honest young man. He is well liked by his peers and respectful to all staff members. Jake also exhibits integrity beyond his years, and I'm sure without a doubt that his future will be very bright. It has been a pleasure having him in my class this year, and I wish him the best of luck as he moves on to 5th grade. Thank you.
Awesome job. Thank you. Mr. Howard? Is Mr. Howard here? Mr. Howard? Okay, I will wait 1 second. And what about Miss Hirons? Come on up, Julie. And Julie's student of the month is Mary Jane Parker.
I was supposed to give Mary Jane this last month, but she was sick, so we figured we'd try it again. So Mary Jane is in my anatomy class for high school, and if anybody remembers or knows of anatomy, it's really tough. And she is a fabulous student. So very proud of her. She puts in extra time and she tries really, really hard. I think she is going to do so well as she goes into her law that she's going into. So thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Miss Hirons. Okay, so Mr. Howard is not here, and I don't have his write-up for Tristan Kreger, but is Tristan here? I'm going to speak. So I'm going to speak from my experience with Tristan. Just seeing her in art class, she comes up with the most creative ideas and she's very patient. She likes to bring her projects down to the elementary and she kind of always just walks like this. And I was like, whoa, 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 stop. What is that today that happened? And she makes it out to be like it's not a big deal at all, but she is so creative and fun to be around in class and eager to. I know she helps him a lot and he really enjoys having you in your class. And I love seeing all of your art projects. That's something I was always passionate about, wish I knew how to do, and I can't do it. So I admire that about you, honey. Congratulations. Sure.
So I just got back from a conference in Nashville, and the keynote speaker, showed us a picture of a high school student walking a 3-year-old, 4-year-old down to their classroom. And it struck me that we have that going on right here with this lady right here, because every morning, just about every morning, she walks her nephew down to the gym, and it's the cutest thing in the world. So not every girl as a high school student would do that. So thanks, Tristan. Okay, if you go, you can stay for the rest of the or you can go out in the hallway and we will take some pictures of your students and you are free to leave. Thank you very much for coming.
Are we ready to move on? Oh, hey, short recess. April's. Okay, after. Oh, yeah, taking picture with Callie.
For those of you who are waiting, we're just about ready to start our regular board meeting. We apologize for the delay. Okay, under approval of the agenda, there are two changes for tonight's agenda. Both were, one was a last minute, one was an oversight. Celeste Steffes, Steffes, is a daycare worker currently in our daycare. And you'll see on our resignation list tonight that we have a long-term daycare worker resigning. We have posted the new position in order to get quality. We posted that for $14, And Celeste, who's currently an employee in the daycare, makes less than $14. So it seemed like the fair thing to do to raise her up to $14 an hour, and that will start today because it's the first day of our new pay period. So it will be Roman numeral 3 under letter C, and it will be a change in wages will be the title of that. Change in wages, and it will be Celeste, Celeste, Steffes, Steffes. Any questions on that change? And then on item number 7, under new business, A, approval of the superintendent's contract. Cross out superintendent. I can't recommend my own contract. That should be the board president. Okay. All right. Thank you. I would recommend a motion, Mr. Chairman, President, to approve the agenda with the modifications.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the modifications.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, good.
Okay, I believe there's no patron participation under number 5, so we'll move on to number 6, the consent agenda. You have in your board packet the claims docket, letter A. B, we have the approval of the minutes. C, under personnel, we have Roman numeral 1, 2, and 3. And D, receipt of funds, Salem Center Presbyterian Church, $100 for negative school lunch accounts. We certainly appreciate that for our students. I'd recommend the approval of items A through D.
I'll make a motion to approve items A through D.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now we're on to new business. Okay. So, new business is approval of the superintendent's contract. So with the change to the wording here, the board president recommends that the board to approve the superintendent's contract as presented. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the superintendent's contract.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
You can ask for discussion.
Oh. Do we want discussion? Does anybody want to discuss the thing before we vote? We can stop it right now, yeah.
I do not.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And one abstain.
Yeah.
So 401, please.
Okay, item B, discussion of the passenger. This came up because I got a price on a minibus and it's $119,000, and sometimes we need an extra vehicle to transport during the day or during sports seasons. And so we have seen other teams arrive with a passenger van. And so we did some investigating, and yes, it is legal to transport our athletes and our student groups in a passenger van. If we were talking about safety, school bus would be number 1. That's the safest. The minibus would be number 2, and the van would be number 3. The price of the van is $50. The manufacturer suggested retail price of this van, which is a 2026 Chevy Express 3500 12-passenger van, white, is $54,240. But with our municipal discount, it comes to $47,733, less than half of what a new minibus costs. We feel that we can transport our daycare kids who go from over here to across the street every other Friday with the van, with the car seats. And we can also use it for different athletic teams that have less than 12 members on it. It's also much easier to drive. If you've ever tried to drive a minibus, it has a bunch of blind spots. It's kind of intimidating. And if we would ever take our staff to an in-service, if it's less than 12 teachers or staff members, we can drive together to that staff in service. It's something that I hadn't really thought about, but in talking to Mr. Prokop and Mrs. Kristen and Mrs. Alley, as a team, we thought this would be something that we might propose to the board as an alternative form of transportation for our students, and it's definitely much cheaper. I checked with DeKalb Eastern, who does our bus maintenance. They have a van already over there, so they're familiar with it. So they would be able to still do the maintenance on it. It would be gas, and has automatic start. So if you're in an event in the middle of winter, you can start it and then get it heated up in time for everybody to come out from the event. So it's not just all stripped down. There's $2,500, $2,695 of options that were included in this price that we thought would be necessary for us to have a nice van to use. There are no graphics on it. We'd have to add some graphics. So, Allie,
One thing I was going to mention
is
too,
your
guys,
mic on?
Yes.
Okay.
One thing I was going to mention too that I think is interesting in this whole thing is the minibus. You have to get certification to drive. Another big perk on this is that there would be no special certification to drive. A regular license would permit somebody to do it. So I think that gives a lot more flexibility too.
And we also had a situation a couple of weeks ago where we had 5 students who weren't out in time for the bus. The bus left. My vehicle doesn't hold 5 students, and so we could easily jump in this van because the 2 minibuses were out on their route. We could easily jump in this van and pick up the 5 students here in town and bring them to school. So that was another plus as we looked at this alternative. So I'm open for questions.
Well, for somebody that's ridden in the pickup truck all the way over to South Bend and back for a golf meet
Yeah.
with 4 high school girls and Brad and I, that was a little tight of a squeeze.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll be nice for that. Is it white?
It's
I
white.
assume?
It's
Okay.
white right now, yes. And I would suggest we put Hamilton Community Schools on the side of it or somehow put some sort of a graphic. So the price will go up a little bit, but I think it's a great way of funding the bus as well.
I could see something. We'd probably use this a lot more than we think we would.
I agree. I agree. Even for
Robotics
summer
and-
robotics, even for summer when we're taking a team to Antwerp or whatever, if it's less than 12, we
Yeah.
could use it for that as well. So I think there's a lot of advantages to it. And I guess I'd like to try it and see how it works. So if there's not any more discussion, I would need a recommendation for purchasing a van for the price of $47,733 if you as a board member feel that's the right way to go.
I'll make a motion to purchase the 12-passenger van for $47,733.
I'll second that.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
We will not get it until next school year because they're backed up that far, back ordered that much.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Comes from Kelly Chevrolet in Fort Wayne.
Wow. I would have never thought that.
I know. We'll move into my superintendent's report. And currently, with all of our snow days and everything else that's gone on this winter, our last day of school will be June 2nd currently. We received
Student day.
last student day is June 2nd. We received 3 waiver days from the state of Indiana. I asked for 4 and got 3, so I'm batting 75%, which as baseball, that's pretty good average.
Yep.
But I wanted 4, but they gave me 3. So we'll be in school 177 days rather than 180. They also indicated that our next day off, if we have one, would be waived as well. So we got 1 in the bank. So I
You
feel,
got your 4.
I think we're going to be okay. So any questions on snow or waiver days?
When does that make graduation then?
Graduation will remain as it's on our school calendar for Friday, June 5th. Moving on, our insurance trust, which is made up of 12 or 13 school corporations, has done very well financially. And that board of trustees, which I serve on, as well as Mrs. Leitzel, has decided with the cash surplus that we can afford to give all of our employees who are on our health insurance plan here at Hamilton an insurance holiday, which means that they will not get any premium deductions out of their paychecks for the month of March. So we thought the timing of this, the whole month, both pays, they will not have that deduction, and it will give them a little boost to get ready for spring break. So kudos to our staff and all the other corporations for using our health clinics and trying to save money instead of going to the emergency room. So, by taking care of ourselves and staying healthy, we're able at this time to give money back to our staff who's employees.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's 4 months worth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal.
The last thing is, Scott and I had a little discussion. The administrative team has been working on this for quite some time. With the number of snow days we've had this year, we do what is now called asynchronous learning, which means that we get 3 e-learning days, and then after that, we have to make up every one of our days. Other school corporations around us are doing what's called synchronous learning or virtual learning. Virtual learning means that our elementary students need to be online with their teacher for 2.5 hours a day. And the teacher is live instruction, and the students are at home. And you have to think about this a little bit. We're a little concerned about our kindergartners and our first graders and second graders. Someone's going to have to be home helping them log on and take care of things. And there's also a situation where some of our families don't have internet access. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of synchronous learning, but I'm also not a big fan of making up 10 days at the end of the school year either. There's when you start school August 5th and you don't get out now until June 2nd, that really shortens up the summer. The synchronous learning for high school students will require them to be in class for 3 hours. So we would run a schedule like their periods would be 25 minutes. Then they would go to their next, sign on to their next teacher for second period, then third period and fourth period with a break in between periods. And so that's called synchronous learning. And we have tossed this around. I'm looking at Allie, who's done a lot of footwork and research on this. She did it at DeKalb Eastern. I did it when I was at superintendent at Knox, and I said I'd never do it again because kids don't sign on and they're making up work later on the week and so forth. But I'm also, after this winter, thinking that, we are at June 2nd, and it would be awful if we had to move graduation if we miss another, let's say, 6 days or so. The board would need to decide if they would want to move to synchronous learning or continue with asynchronous learning for next year. I would not want to do anything for this year anymore, and I don't want to jinx myself like I did in our board letter, but today we had a 2-hour delay, but we didn't have to cancel. So the weather looks pretty good for February as long as we don't run into this fog right now. We have a survey that we've developed. The Teachers Association and I have discussed this as well, as long with Mrs. Watkins. And we would like to put out a survey to both staff and to parents to see what their reaction would be to synchronous learning. There's also, it also affects employees that don't get to work on that particular day. So you have your bus drivers who aren't running their routes then. You have your cafeteria staff. Are we going to pay them, or what are they going to do to make up that time? There's other staff members, all of your paraprofessionals. So there are some fallbacks that we would need to work through if we're going to go through to synchronous learning. So go ahead, Scott. You got that look.
Yeah, I got a look. I've got a question. If a student doesn't show up for the class on the synchronous learning, they're just counted absent for the day. Yeah, correct?
I'm going to defer to Allie or Kristen.
So in my experience, there's two ways to earn membership to the class. You show up to the class. Typically, there would be some kind of content or some kind of an enrichment activity that would be presented during that time. The other way to earn it is if you don't show up to the class, but you complete the assignment or the activity, you would also have attendance for that class period. It gets very tricky to track whether or not if a student is there, if they are not there, and so on. They might be there for first period, not second period, and so on. So it gets tricky to track that. So some schools opt to say A or B, A plus B would equal present. Not showing up and not completing anything is how they would earn an absent.
Okay, and then maybe a more important question. The way you explain this, it sounds. The way you explain this, it sounds like a either or, not a combination. In other words, if we go to the synchronous learning, do we no longer get the e-learning days?
No, I misspoke, but you would still get 3 e-learning days before you would have to move to the synchronous learning.
And so
You
if
could do a
that's-
combination.
If that's the case, what do you have to lose by using the synchronous learning? You don't ever do it unless you run out of days.
Yeah, like this year, we had a whole week off of school. I think we had 5 days consecutively. So we already used up our e-learning days. So that means that the students would do at least 5 synchronous learning days. And what I'm being told is for the older kids, that's okay. But for the younger ones, that becomes somewhat of a problem with trying to keep them attentive for that each day.
Do you think if
You could also do a combination of makeup days, synchronous days, and asynchronous days if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, the way I'm looking at this is the way we do it now. Most years we would never use an asynchronous day because we just don't miss enough days. This year it's happened to be a substantially harder winter.
Yeah, synchronous and asynchronous is hard to understand. Synchronous is virtual, so virtual is online. So, yeah, in most years we might have 2 or 3 virtual learning days, but not anything like we've experienced this year. However, the other thing I want to say is if we go to synchronous learning, I will no longer be able to apply for waiver days.
Okay,
There's the catch.
right there.
The
Okay.
DOE will not allow us to do
Because they're
both.
gonna say you should use the synchronous for those days.
You are correct.
And then how are we set up for infrastructure for that? Would the teachers be able to log in from their home to do the class time?
We would get that data from the survey that we would send out.
Okay.
So I can't answer that right now. Maybe Allie or Kristen has a better idea, but I can't answer that right now.
The survey is designed to kind of as a catch-all to determine all stakeholders from the students to the families to the staff members, how reliable their internet source is. So we can kind of uncover if there are any potential issues and so on.
Is this something that just the high school or middle school and high school could do and not the elementary? Or does it have to be everybody?
It would have to be consistent,
okay.
is my understanding. Yeah, Chris, you'll need your thing if you're talking to
Okay.
her.
Yeah, you have to do K to 12. It's required. If you do part of them, you have to do all of them. We're one building, so we would not be able to run buses separately for those other days as well, plus food, cooking food.
So Ellie, if they don't have internet, they can make up the day the next day, or how does that work?
That's something that we would have to determine too as a team in terms of how we're going to handle that. If we would be Some schools would supply mobile hotspots for those that don't have it. It would be something that would be based off that survey data.
Right.
And they would have the 3 days to complete the assignment, like
Okay.
Kristen was saying. So
Okay.
with the asynchronous, aka e-learning,
Yeah.
currently we have it at 3 days of in-person days to complete what they need to do. So we would continue that along if it was the live virtual or aka synchronous learning as well.
Okay.
So if they were unable to attend the meeting,
Yeah.
they still would have access to that content when they returned. It wouldn't be like it was due the day they walked back in the door. They would have time in person to get help and so on as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other issue we would have, it'd be a little bit more costly to the corporation because right now grades K to 3 do not take their iPads home. So they don't have cases that would be able for them to transport them safely. So we would have to buy cases for all those students, and they would have to take them home every night because we never know what the weather's going to be tomorrow. And so that would be a change for those parents to have to take care of those devices. And we've heard from some parents, they don't want those devices going home because they don't want to monitor what their kids are on or whatever. So
I was just going to mention K2 has iPads and they don't take them home. The majority of the parents don't want them home unless we knew that there was a storm coming, or if then we would give them a heads up and allow them to take those home. But the third and up, they have Chromebooks that they do bring home every day. It's really those primary. That's the tricky one.
I would say my concerns as a former teacher, up till a few years ago, I had very spotty internet where I live. And I usually had to drive myself in, for e-learning days, which is fine if the road, you just bring yourself. But if with some of the snows we had this year, there would have been no way I would have gotten out of my driveway. And to me, it kind of penalizes those families that don't have, it's like we're offering to some, but not to others. And also, I know one thing that parents complained about after a while when we were spring of 2020, they became so responsible for almost teaching their kids. And if they have to sit there with them for 2.5 hours trying to keep a first grader under, I just think there's a lot to look at all the way across before to really do a lot of thinking on it. But yeah, just especially like I said, an area that we don't have real great. And then also if you have half your kids that don't do it, then you're having to deal with catching them up when you get back to class and continuing to try to move forward.
you're identifying all those things that are issues. You're right, Julie. And we would have to try and solve as many of those as we can if we move to synchronous learning. You are absolutely correct. I will go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I think for the time being, when I had asked Bill for the, to at least evaluate it, I mean, it appears to me that after at least the initial evaluation, the degree of complication does not warrant the value that we're going to get out of the synchronous learning. But I mean, I don't know that I'm saying, me personally, that we probably shouldn't follow through with it, but it appears to me to be just given our rural area and some other factors that bigger cities may, city schools may not have with, 5G internet or 5G towers everywhere. And, we just have spotty everything everywhere. And so maybe it makes less sense for our school, but you don't want to just not look at it at all, and evaluate it, right? You got to at least consider.
Because another thing with like mobile hotspots, if they can't get out of their driveways, they can't get to the hotspots.
Those of you who have AT&T phone service, you know that it's pretty spotty when you get around here.
You drive down the town and you lose it.
I have one bar at my house typically. That's it. I never have more than that.
I said it'd be interesting to see what the survey results would be for parents and teachers and staff.
Well, it's been a good discussion. I wanted to make sure we talked about it before you heard about the survey going out. And as a board, we're going to send that survey right after spring break or right before spring break. We'll get those results back pretty quickly, we are hoping. And probably in the May board meeting, we would need to decide if we're going to do synchronous or not. That would give us time to order book bag or Chrome, whatever we need to order to help
I would
those
suggest
kids.
sending them after spring break, because if you send them before, they could lose them over spring break and forget. And so, yeah.
It's online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they'll do it digitally so that we get the
What
immediate
about the
feedback.
families that don't have online?
Yeah.
That's a good.
It goes to their phone. Huh?
That's
Yeah.
use the vote right there because the ones
Yeah.
that don't.
We'll have to send a paper pencil one out.
Yeah.
But I was thinking before spring break, because it will be, those that want to provide their feedback.
If it's enough before spring break.
Yeah.
If it's a few weeks, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Right before spring break, parents are going to be,
Yeah.
and kids are going to be, their brains are going to be everywhere. But
We can send a thrill share out that would say we're sending an electronic survey out. If you would like a paper copy to fill out, you could do so. But we certainly don't want to do paper copies for everybody. It'd be a nightmare trying to tally everything up. So, okay, those excuse me, those are my board comments for tonight, and we'll move to administrator comments.
Excuse me. Sorry, I was yawning. We just finished our semester awards last week. It was only rescheduled 2 or 3 times, I believe, which I think is better than last year. Last year, I think we had to cancel and reschedule so many times I lost track. So that was great. We had semester 1 awards last week. We finally made it to the 100th day of school. That was much anticipated. The kids were so excited, and they definitely topped it this year with their 100-year-old outfits. Super cute. And lots of teachers participated as well. Last week on Friday, busy day, we had a pep rally. Then we had homecoming. Congratulations to Tegan Freed and Aiden Lingo, our homecoming king and queen. We had our mini Marine cheer camp performance that was put on by Mrs. Lucas. Had another great, I love this one. I say that every time, but it was so cute. And then we also had senior night on Friday. Yes. And then Saturday we moved into the VIP Valentine's Day dance. And I think Mrs. Lucas told me today there was I want to say 278 or 275. I'm not sure. It was close to 300. I remember that, attendees. So had a great night. And, Allie, I think you had a couple things too.
One thing I wanted to mention is that on one of the snow days, we had planned a state agency that was coming to do a safety audit of our building. I came in, Mrs. Gates came in as she's the head of the safety coordinator for the district. And I spent over 2 hours with these individuals, and Mrs. Gates spent 5 hours with these individuals on this snow day, walking around, picking everything apart meticulously. And the ultimate feedback they provided to us is that Hamilton Community Schools is totally compliant with everything. They were so impressed with all of our safety protocols, from everything from our maps to the safety folders that are provided to our staff, to all the practicing and the communication that we have. They even took examples, some artifacts of the things that we use to show other schools. So I thought that was really cool and exciting, just to give peace of mind on we knew we were doing a good job with it, but it's good to hear from a state agency of Homeland Security, like, hey, you guys are doing fabulous. So that was really cool.
Congratulations, you guys. Good job.
Thanks. Thank you.
It was a big thing, and a shout out to Danny Lingo.
Mm-hmm.
He is able to, on his CAD computer, draw up all of our school maps and classrooms and the whole building for us. And if we need to change something, he's very willing to do that. So that's a huge help, because every map you see hanging up, not in this room, but in every classroom, he's designed that map. So thank you.
Pretty neat. The only other thing I wanted to mention too was that, if you can believe it, we're already at the midterm of third quarter. So that happened last Friday. And so, we're plugging along. Kids are doing great. Katie Richter, give her a shout out too. She's doing fabulous with her professional development for staff. Couple times with the weather, the PLCs that she's been coordinating had to be rescheduled, but she's doing a fabulous job with that. We just got a grant for something called Magic School that embraces the world of AI and teaches teachers how to kind of use that as a valuable tool in their classroom. And she's doing a really fabulous job with that as well.
Treasurer's report, Miss Brittany.
I don't have anything to add.
School board member comments.
I just want to ask, did the kids miss out on the Shrine Circus this year?
Every year.
I figured.
I mean, I bet you 4 out of the past 5 years they've missed out on the circus because of the weather. It's always on yeah.
It wasn't
Every year.
just us, it was all northeastern
Everyone.
Indiana.
And they don't reschedule.
What's that?
They don't reschedule.
No,
Yeah.
they go during the day.
I know.
Yep.
Any other board member comments? I just have one final comment, and that is thank you to the board for ratifying, approving my contract for tonight. I really appreciate it. I tell people all the time, this is the best job I've ever had. I am getting older, however, so we will see, but the 1-year contracts will really help. That way in December, we can decide if we're going to continue or we'll do a superintendent search. But I really appreciate it. You've been a great board to work with. Our board meetings have gone very well. And thank you to each of you for allowing me to serve this community and our school district.
All right, guess with that,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
it's quick.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned.